Luca is the brand new Pixar original film that dropped exclusively with no extra cost, only on Disney Plus. The film stars Jacob Tremblay, Jack Dylan Grazer, Emma Berman, Maya Rudolph, Jim Gaffigan, and Sasha Baron Cohen. The film is an hour 35 and PG, and the film is about Luca, voiced by Jacob Tremblay, who is a young, basically a sea monster, quote unquote, in the sea. And when he comes out, he's been told his whole life to never leave. He meets a friend who has similar powers to him, played by Jack Dylan Grazer, who plays Alberto. They both are sea monsters in the sea. When they come out of the sea, they turn into humans. They meet a girl named Julia, voiced by Emma Berman, who wants to win this race. And the goal for the two kids that they want to win their Vespa in the middle town, a coastside of Italy. My name is Max. We're going to have a brand new Pixar Disney Plus review here on Max Talks Movies. My name is Max Dinenberg. Before we get into my thoughts of non-spoiler fashion of Luca, please leave a like, guys. That is the best way to support this YouTube channel at the moment. Also, please comment down below your thoughts of Luca. Where does this stack up for you in the Pixar family? For you, is this one of your favorites? Least favorite is right in the middle. Let me know in the comment section down below. Tell me if you are excited for the film, if you're not seeing this, and tell me, would you wish you see this in theaters, or are you happy this is a streaming movie exclusively? Also, please subscribe and ring the bell, guys, for notifications. I do movie reviews like these every single week, TV show reviews, movie franchise rankings, and a box office breakdown show every single week. So if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, ringing the bell for notifications. Without further ado, let's get my review of Luca. So again, if you know me on the channel, I've done my solo review on the YouTube channel. I've done my Pixar full ranking with my friend Joe and Ty on the YouTube channel. This is my favorite movie studio out there at the moment. I literally adore Pixar. I've grown up with Pixar as a kid who grew up with a lot of these films. I take a lot of nostalgia and pride in these films. I take a lot of pride in watching them and putting a ranking together of all of the films. So I get uber excited to see every single Pixar film, and this one was no different. It took place in Italy. The animation looked good. So again, I was very pumped for this movie. Let's start with my positives, then I'll go to my negatives, and then I'll give you my score. So for me, my positive with the film is the main two characters of the film and really the look of the movie. The film looks absolutely beautiful. Just like other recent Pixar films have done. The animation does not stop improving. This is a really beautifully animated film, really depicts Italy in really authentic ways. Now, it could be Americanized, sure, but it feels like Italy a lot of the time. The pasta, the food looks, can get you very, very hungry. They eat a lot of pasta in the film. And also just the look of turning these sea creatures into humans. Also, the transformation of that looks really well done as well. And as I said, story-wise, the main positive going for the story is this really amazing friendship between Luca and Alberto. The fact that Alberto is they're the same creature in the way that they can be sea creatures when they're in the sea and then humans outside. But the difference is that Luca has always been told to never go above water onto land. Her parents, voiced by Maya Rudolph and Jim Gaffigan, continue to tell him in the first act of the movie, don't go up to land, while Alberto on the other side only lives on land. It only goes down to sea for necessity. So it's the really great dynamic. And then they dream of getting a Vespa and traveling the world together. And that's where they want to win this possible race with Emma Berman's character, Julia. But it really is this main two friendship that's going to get you through this movie. And while I think I wanted to get a lot more deeper with the story, I still did feel some type of, it's such a charming friendship. You get why it can go sour at certain points, and you really care about both characters. It's a very unique friendship that really works well for them. It's clearly the best part story-wise of the entire film, because again, Luca is a scared little kid who only knew the sea and now is coming up and learning so much from Alberto, even though Alberto, even himself, doesn't know not that much about human life. And the two of them learning through each other, learning through Julia, learning through the town itself makes the film it's a very charming film. And that's another a clear main positive with the film is that it's really charming. You really are smiling. It's a really easy to watch film. It's a very simple film. It's a very compact. I think it's like an hour 35, an hour 40 range. It's a pretty short film, and it's very simple. You know exactly what's going on, and the film is charming, and you can't help but smile and laugh in multiple points. But that will transition me into my negatives with the film, and it really comes down to the simplicity of the story. Now, at times, as I said, some movies are really good using their simple story. For me, this movie was way too simple and way too bare minimum and generic for a lot of the story, which is really disappointing for a Pixar film. Now, yes, it is good when you are a Pixar film and you're a new Pixar film, you have pretty high expectations because there's been so many spectacular Pixar films. For me, there's like 14 amazing to fantastic, even 12 to 14 amazing to fantastic Pixar films. So it's really tough to make a movie and it doesn't hit those notes. But for me, this is nowhere near top tier Pixar, in my opinion. It's definitely on the lower half of the Pixar tier because the story is just not deep at all. The whole turning from a sea creature to a human, that whole thing of why that happens and why it's so unique never gets brought up in the film. It just happens when it never gets explained. And that was a huge disappointment with something with that unique of a story. Also, this is one of the weakest villains, in my opinion, all of Pixar. Definitely, maybe even bottom 5, bottom 7 to 10 Pixar villains of all time. It's a really weak villain. It's this guy who clearly is older than all these kids who keep doing this race in Italy. He keeps showing up and winning the races every year. You've seen this villain a billion times, but he's really annoying. He isn't that annoying but likable villain. He's just a very annoying, one-note, predictable villain that needs to be in the movie because we need some tension with the kids. That it just did not work for me at all with the villain movie. And that's just, again, the main issue is that it just didn't go deep at all. It's very surface level. I didn't find myself laughing throughout the film. There were one or two jokes that got me laughing, but for the most part, I really wasn't laughing enough for a Pixar film. And I felt that the relationship with Julia just felt so forced and rushed to create tension between the Alberto and Luca friendship. It just felt like we needed Luca to also enjoy and learn from Julia so Alberto can kind of get jealous of that friendship. And for me, it just didn't need to happen. It just felt like a forced friendship that happened just so Alberto can get mad at Luca at some point in the movie. So we have some friendship tension. And there's no explanation on why Alberto doesn't live in the sea and just lives in the human world, even though he never goes to the human world. It's a very weird thing that the film has a lot of story points in the movie that really are special. It could have been special, and they're very unique to Pixar and really all animated films, but it just doesn't go deep at all with story. You've seen this movie, it's a very straightforward, in my opinion, too straightforward, where things aren't explained that probably should be explained. Common sense at times is thrown out the window. And we have characters that we want to care about more, but because it's so surface level, we can't care about the characters enough. So again, is this better than a lot of animated movies out there? Yes, but for me, it is going to be tough for people to believe that this movie is anywhere near top tier Pixar. I do even think it's lower. I loved Onward and Soul last year, and I'm so happy that Pixar is making original movies. And also a weird plot. I just want to say a weird point to make to the movie is that for the movie to take place, a lot of it, a good 85% of the movie to take place in Italy, for such little Italian actors cast in voice work. I think there's maybe 2 or 3 in actual big roles, really like one Italian, I think, in a pretty major role in the movie. It was a bit disappointing that, again, we didn't really have a lot of our main characters be Italian descendants or part Italian, because I want to see, because in Coco, obviously they showed a lot of authenticity in its voice cast. And for me, for this movie, it was weird that they didn't go with that for this Italian movie. But overall, guys, I still enjoy the movie. It's quite charming. I did really enjoy the friendship, and it's very well animated. But for me, it's a pretty big disappointment when you look at it from the rest of Pixar. It will be one of the more forgettable Pixar films, I think. It's not one of the worst, but it certainly is not one of the best. So I'm going to give Luca a 3.5 out of 5, a 70%. He said, wow, 70% is disappointing. When you're looking at this Pixar filmography, there are so many, a lot more better films than this one. So this movie goes on the way bottom half of Pixar. Again, it isn't in the bottom 5, but it's certainly not in the top 10. So that's my thoughts on Luca on Pixar. Tell me, do you agree with me, disagree with me in the comment section down below. Also, please consider liking, subscribing, commenting, sharing, and ringing that bell.